Hi folks, this is Kimberly Craig from Channel 7. We are outside the Washtenaw County Jail in Ann Arbor, and we are talking to Mr. Grady L. and his attorney Bill Amadeo. And first of all, Mr. Grady L., let me just talk to you first. What was it like 2 nights there in the jail? And I understand that you caught a glimpse of your wife this morning.
It was horrible. I slept on a cement slab without any padding for the first 2 nights until this morning I was given a jacket to lay on, and then one of the officers, really nice gentleman Williams, made sure I had a pad. And as far as my wife, when I see my wife, I was broken up about it because she was broke. And I could tell she's broken. I know in her mind she was like, okay, I'm gonna leave here and then it's right back into the lion's den again in another police encounter, you know. So I feel for her.
Let me talk to you, and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to keep your voices up because I obviously, as you know, I have to stay a certain distance away from you. Mr. Amadeo, let me ask you, what made you decide to take this case on?
I saw the videos on Facebook, and I was horrified, and I was shocked this was going on in my community. I live in Washtenaw County. To see what happened, the brutality, it was just horrific. I was moved by it. And then somebody contacted me on LinkedIn, a family member of Darian Blackman. I worked on his case. He was a mentally challenged young man that was charged with second-degree murder in Wayne. And we won his case. The family asked me if I would call Matt Grady, who is Daniel's brother. From that point, I was in touch with Matt and his mother all night long, trying to gather information. I finally got to see Sha-teina and Daniel this morning. They told me horrifying things, which really qualified everything we saw on Facebook. I want to be part of the solution, not the problem.
And a lot of folks are saying that they cannot hear. Folks, can you hear my audio? Somebody type yes if you can hear my audio and just not theirs.
Would it help if I move farther and just put the mask off?
Can anybody hear? Can't hear. No, well, it's a cell phone. Okay, Veronica says she can hear. All right, so I will, Mr. Amadeo, why don't you just take your mask off, and I'll still stay at the distance. Okay. And folks, apologize if you can't hear audio very well. There's no stick mic on my phone. But Mr. Amadeo, what's going to happen with Sha-teina Grady L at this point?
I'm waiting to hear back from the Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office. I'm waiting to hear back from the detectives and the Washtenaw Sheriff's Department. I have some phone calls coming in. Ideally, I could get her out today. I'm not the lawyer on her Taylor case. I want to chip in on that. I don't know who the assigned public defender was on that case. So the first issue with Taylor is seeing if I could even help them out, which I'm going to try to do when we're done here today. Getting them out of Washtenaw was the first concern. But as Daniel's wife explained to me with tears in her eyes today, she was terrified of going to Taylor because she's been abused by a police officer in the Taylor Police Department. So I'm in fear for her right now, hoping the wheels of justice move quickly. I'm certainly going to do my part. I know even though she's a prosecutor, Arian Slay has been talking to me all night trying to coach me up on how to handle different jurisdictions, and Arian's been a godsend. Even though she's trying to enforce the law, she wants to make sure justice prevails, and she was not happy about this situation. And this is, we have a problem here. What happened on that video is disgraceful. Just releasing these people is not enough to answer for what they've been through. Daniel is worried about his job. He could tell you about that. He's got 2 no-call no-shows because he couldn't use the phone inside the jail. He's been a valid employee at U of M for 13 years. Is he going to be a victim of unemployment as well as brutality? That's what we're looking at right now.
Mr. Grady L., let me go back to you, and thank you, Mr. Amadeo. Stay right there. Tell us about that night. You and your wife, we were talking earlier, and you said that you were just trying to get video of deputies at your daughter's house.
Indeed. We were standing at the house next door at the fence line with our cameras videotaping the police encounter and asking them do they have a warrant, because they're clearly trying to get into the house without a warrant, which is unconstitutional. And so we're just trying to document that. And the lead officer, I don't know his name right now, but he said he was the supervisor, threatened us to take us to jail if we interfere, but of course we're not interfering, we're just taping. So then I videotaped him, walk from the scene where he's at the house, go across the street, come back down the sidewalk, and then come back on the other side of the car to blindside us so that we couldn't see him coming, because they had the patrol car parked right where we were standing, so their lights were in our face. So until he got right next to the police car and said that we were under arrest and immediately started trying to grab onto her, we didn't know that was happening.
I can't even imagine what it was like. It was a chaotic situation all around. We can hear people on the video that one of your neighbors took that we used yesterday, and a lot of people gasping when they saw the deputy punching your wife.
Oh, that was horrific.
Keep your voice up a little bit.
That really hurt me. It broke me down to see that man, he's a big man, punching on my wife like that. It broke me down. I wanted to hit him. My first instinct was to hurt him because he's hurting my wife. I calmed myself down and tried to separate them from him continuing to harm us. And then some point after that, I was tased and immediately taken to the ground and arrested for no reason whatsoever.
And you were showing us you had two probes hit you.
Yes.
Did you guys receive any sort of medical attention at jail?
No. They offered medical attention, but I didn't want medical attention. I didn't want to sign any contracts with them so that they can try to hold us even further.
And I want people to understand that you and your wife, you're Moors. Tell people what that means and what that means in terms of who you think should be prosecuting you, if anyone.
We're Moorish Americans, so we're actually a separate nation of people. It's the United States, and then it's the Moorish national government. If any United States citizen, corporation, or whatever wants to charge us with anything, it has to be done in federal court. Article 2 of the Constitution makes that clear that diversity of citizenship has to go through federal court. And because we're not citizens of the United States, they have to litigate it there. So any state court that they try to send us to is improper venue.
Thank you, gentlemen. And I know that you folks are going to be sticking around to see what happens with your wife, trying to determine where she is right now. Mr. Amadeo, what was at last check? I know you just got a text not that long ago. What have you been told?
At last check, I'm told Taylor Police Department did pick her up. I'm going to call the district court in Taylor, try to make an argument for bond today if they'll allow me to. Try to get some information. I do know in Taylor and all sorts of counties in Wayne, they have a skeleton crew right now because of COVID. I'm really surprised they even put her in jail considering COVID and what they've been through already. But I am going to try to get some justice out of this. I'll be making some calls when we're done.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. And folks, we'll update you later today on 7 Action News. Thank you much.